I work with a variety of students that have multiple physical and intellectual disabilities. I have some students on the autism spectrum. I have some students diagnosed with Angelman syndrome. All of my students have a variety of needs, including communication needs, as well as challenging behaviors. Sometimes special education is overlooked because people think that our kids can't learn, and when you're in the field, you see that our kids can learn, and they do learn every single day.
2. Good job.
No matter where any student is in their learning, there's always a next step to take. Our approach is that students should always have the ability to demonstrate that next step and have that opportunity to do so.
So she only assessed this one?
Map-based approaches like the Dynamic Learning Maps alternate assessment system and our other Atlas projects provide the opportunity for students to do that.
The impact that Dynamic Learning Map has had on Ruby Van Meter is how the whole school has transformed the way they think about their students as learners.
Do you know the difference between snow and hail? Is snow, when you feel it, kind of soft, or is it hard? Soft.
Dynamic Learning Maps is an alternate assessment system designed for students with the most significant cognitive disabilities. We currently serve about 90,000 students across many different states. Our maps are based on principles of universal design and extensive research literature to illustrate the multiple pathways by which students can develop knowledge and skills and understandings. These maps actually reach from early pre-academic expectations, the skills that students will need as foundations to be successful in academic content, all the way up to college and career-ready expectations at the high school level.
What Dynamic Learning Maps has done is they've set up an assessment system where teachers gather data so they can better know their students. And by knowing the students, they can better design the instruction. And that is so powerful because then what that does is it provides that instructional match.
For the DLM alternate assessment system, we've developed maps that have thousands of nodes and connections. And the reason that we took that approach is to synthesize a huge amount of research that's available in terms of all the different ways that people can learn, different academic content areas, different knowledge, skills, and understandings. We're arranging all of these nodes and connections together into a large web-like structure that's representative of the diversity of what learning actually looks like.
This goes beyond local learning progressions where a student might get stuck somewhere because they have no further progress until they've mastered that particular skill.
Now I have a place, if my students are struggling, I have a place that I can go to and look at the maps to see it broken down more, and I can look and see what I can do to help them get past where they're struggling. It also gives me a direction just for my teaching. Before the maps, it was teacher discretion. And so I might think something, and then my colleague might think something completely different. Now we are more consistent because of the maps.
Dynamic Learning Maps assessments are delivered under very flexible circumstances. Teachers have a lot of latitude in how to make sure the assessments meet their students' needs.
These are more rigorous skills. We're asking our kids to explain, which, who would have ever thought a kid with a device we would be asking to explain? And so now we've been teaching them writing skills, and communication is what we ultimately want for them when they leave here.
For the last 8 years, I've been working with the state of Iowa and Dynamic Learning Maps, and it's been, I think, very inspirational to be part of a project that has such high expectations for our students.
The best way to find out what challenges teachers are facing is to ask teachers. And we do that in a variety of different ways. We ask them to participate in surveys about the assessment system. We invite them to participate in focus groups and to give feedback on prototypes for different types of new resources that we might be developing. It also allows a group of people to really collaborate on figuring out the best path forward for making decisions.
One thing that makes the Dynamic Learning Maps alternate assessment a little bit different from others is that after a teacher administers instructionally embedded assessments, they can pull a progress report that shows the students' progress relative to the grade level expectations and provides guidance for the next steps in instruction during the year.
Seeing their progress within the learning maps is amazing. It really does show what my students know.
And with the parent being able to show them the spectrum of knowledge, that brought it home to that parent.
The little celebrations that are big celebrations in special education, and these show every little milestone that our kids are making, which helps build their confidence, which in turn helps them learn more.